What up? Now we're Josiah's in Moscow. No. Uh, but kind of actually. Uh, so
Isn't
last
it
time he was here
exciting?
and now, can you see? Look, that is Doug Wilson's house. I'm just kidding.
All the diapers?
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. You got some diapers
Oh yeah,
ready to do the thing.
ready to do the thing.
Is will you do the Indiana Jones exchange? Like Judah will be coming out of diapers, and when do you guys do the diapers off? No more potty
I
training.
literally have no idea.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I don't even know what size diapers he's in and what size they go to. They're
Yeah,
over there and they're behind me. I grab one and put it on. I don't know what it says on it even
that's awesome. The
because
only
I'm
reason why I know is Carrie made it a thing because we made it a thing for Hannah, and then Carrie's like, no, we don't even talk about potty training until she's almost, or he is almost 3, and then we do the potty training thing at 3. That's the new rule, and it works because then there's no, what do they call it, regressing or whatever.
yeah, some regression.
Yeah.
We've never
So
had any of that, so we might have done the same thing. I don't remember.
yeah,
It's been a long time,
it's been a
you
minute.
know, 6 years or so.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, you made it to Moscow,
Yeah.
and
So here
now everything is perfect.
it is. I I texted Chad the other day. I said, the grass is greener, the sky is bluer, the beer is colder.
That's awesome. Um, yeah. So I guess first I'll check in specifically with Greyfriars. This is to give everybody a what for, a what to, a how what uh, of Greyfriars and your family and all of that. So, what are your thoughts? Greyfriars hasn't started yet. What are your thoughts on Greyfriars? Do you need to jam through a bunch more books, or are you concerned about anything? Is everything peachy keen because the grass is greener and the rainbows are brighter?
Um, not concerned. Greyfriars, the first day officially starts on the 26th. And I've gotten a bunch of reading done. I still have a bunch of reading to do. A lot of my reading got put on hold with just work stuff that came up, then the move, trying to just cram a bunch of stuff. So we're just getting settled back in, just getting the books all unpacked. And I did some reading last night. But yeah, so just have a bunch more to do. So you could be praying for that. The workload is extensive, but on the same token, I'm not too stressed about it. Um, and so yeah, there is still a lot to do and still a bit to figure out with work schedule. And the my scheduling is, like we had talked about, it's clearing up and it's uh getting nailed down. But as it gets nailed down, it gets more complex and difficult. And
Yeah.
so the one of the days, um Greyfriars was on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and the Thursdays classes got moved to Wednesdays, which kind of threw a little hiccup in my work situation, but um, that's getting resolved. And I'm trying to maintain. I'm trying to get to where I can maintain 26 to 28 hours a week working. That's the max. That's kind of the max that I can do right now without without also working on the weekends. And that's including plugging in um hours kind of like in between classes on in between going to Greyfriars and then going to teach, trying to plug in a couple hours of work in between those. Yeah, and so it's just going to be a lot.
And work with the glazer or work
Yeah,
the glass
yeah,
company? Yeah, okay.
with Moscow Glass. That's right.
Mm, okay.
And so it's just going to be kind of a juggling act for a while until everything gets into a rhythm. Probably, um, you know, it'll probably be mid-October before I'm even kind of in the rhythm of how everything is functioning and going. So yeah,
And that's usually typical with any move. Um, and then also typical with any new school start, right? So yeah, we'll be praying that that be the case, that it's October and everything
yeah.
is
New
beautiful.
new school, two new jobs. Hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have agreed to teach at Logos this year,
Mm,
but that ship is sailed,
yeah, here
you
you
know,
are.
and here we are. And that wouldn't have been very characteristic of how I do things. So um
What do you mean, not doing it?
right, not overburdening myself
Yeah,
to the point of break.
jumping into the deep end and trying to find the bottom of the deep end.
That's right. That's right. And so here we are, going to do it. And luckily, a lot of the curriculum is already established, and then the big picture plans for how the school year goes for that class.
Mm,
God was gracious in steering me into the Old Testament class instead of developing a new Common Arts program and curriculum and
yeah.
plan all the planning that goes along with that. So
Wait, you're not going to rewrite the Old Testament?
I thought about it, but they discouraged it.
And I'm on church discipline for week one of
I actually
that's
got
awesome.
kicked out of Greyfriars.
Yeah. And Logos. Yeah.
So now I'm just glazing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so getting settled in, uh, getting things hung on the walls, trying to get all the books out, all the reading, get my reading cranked back up. Yeah, and just letting all the dust settle and trying to maintain while the dust settles.
Yeah. So how is Kristen and your son in her womb and your other son and your three daughters, how are they doing? Because it's been pretty tumultuous summer, the whole summer, and and probably mentally tumultuous for you and Kristen in the spring, it seemed. But maybe you guys did a great job of protecting your children in that, but there was no way to protect them from the simple fact that they were kind of all over the place, at least in the last couple of weeks, with vacations and family and moving and all of that stuff. So how's the family adjusting, acclimatizing?
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. The luckily we had um, made some contacts down here and we tried to kind of blur the lines as the transition happened. The Fragionis came up to our house in Sagal and did Sabbath dinner with us up there and played. And then uh, so kind of mix the crowds.
Yeah.
Naomi came up and visited, and so the girls got to interact with their friends and people from down here up there. And so then when they came down here, familiar faces from old familiar places were here, and same. And so even then with Glacier, it was providential. We went to Glacier. We visited a church that we knew nothing about. End up meeting friends of family of friends, and they had a bunch of kids. And so it was kind of like, hey, we know these people.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Yeah.
And so they've done really well. And then already this week have jumped into youth choir, practices and uh, different stuff like that. And so,
And where are they doing youth choir? Is that at one of the churches?
yeah, it's through Christchurch.
Oh, okay. And uptown or
Yeah, it's through Uptown.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Mark Reagan
Hmm.
is teaching it. And so, yeah, and so they've started doing that and then getting plugged in with Irish dance classes and all
That
kinds
sounds
of,
horrible.
it's terrible. It's totally not what they already do.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna river dance in the living room, we're gonna actually teach and get you trained how to river dance
That's right.
because all this
That's
mix and
awesome.
match has to go. Yeah, so that's been a great blessing and kind of really beneficial for them. And then people are just excellent. We've had people stopping by, just delivering loaves of bread, and very welcoming and stuff like that. So
That's awesome.
yeah, everyone's transitioning really well. Kristen's working herself into a frenzy decorating, as she
As
does,
as she as she does. Yeah.
as she
That's
does.
awesome. Well, she's also nesting too, right? I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah, it's all a thing. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
Um, she the other day she's like going on frenzies, hanging. I broke one of my cardinal rules, and I gave her a stud finder, and so she she's just been
Just
the other day.
just don't give
I
her the driver, the impact driver.
Okay. Oh, she doesn't. She's got her own drill. She got her own drill,
Yeah.
her own box. Um, but I'd put the fear of like not hitting water lines and stuff into her enough to where as long as she didn't have a stud finder, things weren't going to get too crazy. But then, I gave her the stud finder because this is an old house, and the other day I came home from work and I just hear drills going and hammers hammering. And eventually I walk in there and I'm like, "Oh, babe, what's going on?" And it's like I startled a wild animal, and it's like, "Man, you're really doing it." I said, what's the plan for dinner tonight?" And she looked at me like I said something she'd never considered in her life. I was like, "Oh my goodness, she's in the zone. This is
Yeah.
crazy."
Yeah. So the loaves of bread came in really handy that day,
Loads of
that
bread,
evening.
loads of bread are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's going wild. She's going wild in the house. Almost everything that we brought is up on the walls and already decorated. So this place is feeling very comfortable.
Awesome. That is awesome. Um, I don't know. I know the last time we talked, you're concerned about being able, obviously not letting the ball drop in terms of stewarding and providing for your family. Um, and I know that we've been able to put together a little bit, and I know a little bit can go a long way, but it would be my great desire and my prayer that we would be able to continue to support you in that, and specifically hearing, we don't have to get into the numbers on that at all, but I don't know if people know, but they should be able to see pretty easily. It's a monthly donation that we're trying to hit with the Give Send Go. That's part of the reason why we're doing this, and just selfishly, I want to know how things are going. And not that I can't call you on the phone and talk to you, but I know that there's other people that care. There's other people up here, and you can't just spend all of your time calling people and telling them the same stories over and over again. So hopefully this Give Send Go, and then maybe Facebook or Instagram or wherever you see this, will be a great place for you to kind of see what's going on for those that are watching, or those that are listening. But then also, just to kind of touch on, uh, was that helpful? Is that helpful? And how can, is there a particular supporting amount that we can help offset so that you can actually invest in what God has called you to do with Greyfriars and becoming a pastor of a church?
Yes. One, it's extremely helpful. Obviously, um, obviously every like as they say, every little bit helps. But all of the money that translates into time that I don't have to dedicate to installing windows and doors then translates into
You're
hours.
so good at that.
Some people just have that touch. I had to train up on something yesterday in the shop that I had never done. It's just amazing how much you can find out that you don't know. I
Facts.
I found myself uh, re installing and reconfiguring an industrial glass door at a KFC. It's like, man, never thought I'd be here,
Yeah.
but here I am.
But did you get some of that chicken? That's the
I
question.
tell you what, I didn't get is an $8 famous bowl.
Oof.
Well, and so
Dang.
that, yeah, and so that's kind of the thing, right? This is a terrible time to be trying to go back to school
Yeah.
as a father of five. Um, but here I am, and this, in God's providence, this is the time that He gave me to do this,
Yeah.
and so I'm doing it. And so, like I was saying, every little bit allows me to focus more on studies and allows me more time to um, be in the Word, work on sermon prep and development and pastoral care um, and the very rigorous academic um, workload that is Greyfriars and New
Yeah.
St. Andrews. And in the end, what that does is it expedites the process
Yeah.
of getting that training completed. Because in the past, guys have taken 8, 10, some guys never, have yet to complete the actual Greyfriars program, um, because they're working full time. Their resources are stretched thin,
Yeah.
and any responsible husband and father, when that happens, it's the academic progress that
Yeah.
is slowed or
Yeah.
stalled, and not the income um, garnering work progress.
Well, and
So
the elder questionnaire that you and Kristen had to do, and you will continue to have to do. I mean, it says it right there as well,
mm,
right? I mean,
mm,
so even the elders are going to step in and pump you and be like, maybe pump the brakes on the old academics and get back to providing for your family,
yeah, that's right. That's
which
right.
is
And
great.
yeah, and yeah, and even it comes a point in time where uh, you're not very much good to your family, apart from the income. The stress that it puts on a family to be just barely scraping it,
Mm,
right?
right.
Or what you don't want is your wife and kids to be worrying about, um, is dad stressed too much, and
Yeah.
then hesitant to want to spend time with you because they see what's important to you,
Yeah.
which is this mission, right,
Yeah.
of pastoral ministry and the training that goes into it. And so they, in essence, fall on a sword, fall on a relational sword
Yeah.
to try and give you enough time to make that happen. that they shouldn't be expected to fall on,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so
Absolutely.
there's that too, that and so what it does, and I thank everyone for the contributions that have been made so far. And so what it does is it relieves
Yeah.
that stress and a
Yeah, and
little.
I would like to vocalize just anybody who's listening or watching and is like, oh, well, I'm not able to make that level of donation because for whatever reason there are incredibly generous people that have hopped on there 50, 100, 200, even greater amounts of donations given to this. And so I just want to tell the person that is hesitant because I can't make the big dollar ones that I'm seeing. No, like $5 is actually helpful. $10 is actually helpful. And I think if there is and I can understand that, from whether it's a nonprofit side of things or all of that, like where you're trying to, overcome an operating cost or you're trying to overcome bills to pay or something like that. And it's like, yeah, five, $5 donations adds up to, maybe a portion, if not a full bill that needs to get paid in some way, shape, or form, or some food that needs to get put on the table or something like that. So encouraging anybody, that you don't have to make huge donations, but also if you have a huge donation to give, you don't have to hesitate with that either. um, so
Oh,
yeah,
that seed. Yeah,
that's
the
right.
yeah. And so that's just kind of the nature of where we're at right now. And
Yeah.
we've trimmed the fat, and we've gone down to the peanut butter and jelly sandwich uh diet. And that goes back to it's just a crazy time. The
Mm.
the KFC, I really couldn't even believe it the other day when we were traveling. And where were we at? I think we were up in Sagal, and we were packing up stuff at the house, and we didn't have any food up there. So I was like, okay, we'll just grab some hamburgers and go, right? And
$80 later.
we're gonna go to it used to be called the dollar menu. I don't even know what they call it anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
the not dollar menu.
because a McDouble is $5.
Dude, I know, it's crazy.
And so it's just and so it's just like, man, that's just the nature of the beast. And that's the nature of what everybody's up against right now.
That's right. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah, well, man, I think that's a great place to stop, and I'll look forward to hopping on again with you. I'm sure, I hope that we'll have conversations outside of this, but even if we don't, I look forward to hopping on with you again and talking about the next one will be in the beginning of Greyfriars, in the beginning of the new schedules, the new hopefully even more cleared up schedule.
yeah, yeah, because it'll be well, whenever we'll have started Greyfriars. Tallulah is doing like a homeschool program.
Oh, okay.
Scola, it's like a music program through NSA. Um, the other two girls will have started Logos, and so have some reporting to do on that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to transition into more of an estimate, doing the estimates for the business that I'm working right now. And so hopefully by then I'll have some reports to give on that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, and the Greyfriars classes and the NSA classes and sermon prep and all that. So looking forward to having a lot more stuff to report.
Yeah, and on Gibson Go, there's an opportunity to pray, and so and maybe we can I'll try to clarify on there like things to be praying for, and so all of those things, and I've tried to write it down. I will say a real quick add and a call back to when you went to Glacier and you went to that CREC that's there. I think that is the beauty of the CREC is that you'll
It's
find
not,
that it's
it's,
not a
yeah,
CREC.
it's not a CREC. Yeah,
Oh,
it's just a little independent CRE friendly, we call it.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
So maybe a candidate church one of these days.
maybe. Yeah, yeah. They're trying to get all their ducks in a row. But to your point, what you were saying, and sorry to interrupt you, but me and my dad were having that exact conversation later on that afternoon. That's what you get in
Mm.
CRE and CRE friendly churches.
Yeah.
You get this kind of standardized hospitality,
Yeah.
relational, and also feel, and you also get, the liturgy, the psalms, all of the things. You kind of get that right out. You know what you got. You
Yeah.
walk in the door, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah. And I feel like even CRE adjacent, so like the Ogden crew, I felt was that as well, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
You felt that in just the very beginning and talking with the other men and women, but the other men that were there, and then attending the service and then the fellowship in the park afterwards, just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Really great. Yeah. And so this other church had that too. We were there till about 1 o'clock. They do a full meal afterwards. They all eat together, play. It was good. It's all good.
Sweet. Well, Josiah, thank you so much for sharing.
All right. See y'all next time.